You're hearing The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, while I was gone last week on a little mini vacation, I missed a real fun time with this proposal to increase the state sales tax from 6 to 7%, which we'll get a chance to vote on in May. First, the Anderson Economic Group, Patrick Anderson, one of the official economists of the Frank Beckmann Show, came out with an analysis that said we're going to lose out as Michigan taxpayers in $410 million in itemized deductions on our returns. And it's going to cost us about $102 million in additional federal income tax payments across all of the residents of the city of Michigan. Then the governor's own blue ribbon panel, which was put together to try to push this idea of the sales tax to voters, disbanded. They didn't like the proposal once they broke it apart, and they disbanded. The governor said this gives us a chance for a fresh start. Now a poll comes out that shows that the proposal, while slightly ahead, is still in the 40s and doesn't crack that magical 50% barrier that it's going to need for passage, and so it may be in trouble. Finally, we get a coalition that is speaking out against the increase in the state sales tax. It's led by businessman Paul Mitchell, the chairman of the Faith and Freedom Coalition of Michigan, who is on the other end of our line to announce this ballot committee today. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. Good to talk to you again.
It's good to have you back on the show once again. Tell us exactly what you've done.
Well, we formed a ballot committee. We filed the paperwork required on Friday. We made a decision earlier in the week and to file a committee to oppose the ballot proposal. I want to be clear. It's not because we don't have infrastructure needs. It's because all the other special interest deals that were cut in that effectively cost Michigan taxpayers $700 million more to get their roads fixed. The special interest folks basically have a $700 million toll in order for us to begin to fix our roads. To me, and to folks I've talked with, that seems a little bit ridiculous.
Which are the special interests that you're referring to here?
Well, there's a number of them. I mean, there's money that was squeezed out of things for local governments. There was additional money squeezed out of things for schools. I mean, it's $700 million, Frank. I mean, as you know, I was in private business for 35 years, led companies. I've never seen a contract negotiation that starts out with one proposal is revenue neutral, the House, the Bolger plan. The proposal out of the Senate was $1.2 billion, and the final compromise, I use air quotes here, was 58% higher, a $2 billion tax hit. I mean, it's an incredible tax hit, and by the way, it's forever.
Well, exactly. You're talking $300 million here for schools, $95 million for local government, $130 million for various transit agencies, $260 million to restore the earned income tax credit. And so you wind up with a proposal that doesn't just have that $1 billion, as you said, for the roads that we're told we need every year, but goes 40% beyond that in all these other projects or ideas.
Well, and I want to... If people believe that any of those are necessary, appropriate, then let's have that conversation. But to cobble it onto the roads is literally holding the roads hostage. I want my family drives the roads. I drive the roads. The safety of my family is urgent to me. Absolutely. Let's make sure they're safe. But let's not do that by holding them hostage for an additional tax bill to do all the other things people think are important to them.
Paul, if we do approve that increase in the sales tax from 6 to 7%, where is that going to put Michigan nationally in terms of the sales tax we pay?
Well, as for a state sales tax, Michigan would be the second highest in the country, and that's part of the reason we're opposing it. Another part of the reason is that it's bad for families living here and buying things. It's bad for business to do their purchasing here or selling goods here. Michigan's making progress in terms of improving our economy, and in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, as you've seen, Frank, it's going to have an adverse impact on that. We agree with the Detroit News editorial that came out on Sunday, which was they need to hit the reboot button on this and start over again. There are better options than this.
Well, number one, the legislature should have done it itself. It should not have put this before the voters. I wrote about this also in the news sometime back after they came up with this idea to have us decide how to fix the roads with the tax on ourselves. And I thought that was, well, can you say spineless?
Well, I'll refrain from criticizing specific individuals or groups of individuals. I think the issue that ultimately is they were pressed on time. They came up with this option. It's my understanding that the House, for example, members of the House only had 67 hours total to review this massive effort. And there's all kinds of hidden issues with it, as the Anderson Economic Group has said. And I tell you what, I don't use them, but when they come out and say, hey, by the way, we have a problem here, I pay attention. They're pretty reputable. Some important folks do use their analyses, and if they say it's going to be a $100 million tax hit to the feds, my guess is it is. So this proposal is a gift that keeps on giving, and not in a good way.
So what exactly will your group do to oppose Proposal 1? Will you be raising money to run ad campaigns? What exactly will you do? Do you feel you've got an uphill battle, or do you think you're in the lead on this?
Well, the polling data is clear, although I had not seen the most recent poll when we decided to form the committee. I think we're going to proceed with a combination of TV ads, radio ads, some direct mail, and internet-based electronic kinds of outreach for efforts, along with a pretty significant grassroots effort. My phone rang all weekend from all over the state with individuals and groups saying, "Hey, we believe this is a problem. We'll help where we can." So I think there'll be a coalition of groups. There already is, in terms of a conversation about how we go forward with this, coordinate our messaging, and in efforts to make sure the citizens understand how big an issue this is.
You know, I got to tell you, when the legislature first decided to put this on the ballot, I foresaw a big campaign on the part of road builders, maybe the Chamber of Commerce, a lot of big money behind the proposal. And it appears that the Chamber is going to sit this one out, and this doesn't have the support that I thought it was going to get from the from those places.
Well, I think part of it is that, road builders, some of those folks, they're private sector people. They're entrepreneurs, and they recognize that they're also going to face the tax implications of this as businesses and as individuals. And when they step back, a lot of people are stepping back saying there's got to be a better answer than this. And we believe there is. And I'd suggest that if as much time and energy were put into working on just fixing the roads and that better answer between now, the May vote would be academic, and we'd say, you know what, folks, just forget it, vote no because we have the answer. Rather than wait and see if it fails, I strongly suggest people ought to step up and say, we'll find the answer between now and May. Right? It can be done.
Well, we shall see how it all turns out. I'm not sure if this legislature, I don't know the rules on whether it could reverse the previous legislature and get this off the ballot and come up with its own solution or not. Is that possible?
I'm not an attorney, Frank, so I'll defer on saying what the Constitution will allow us to do or not, or the laws. But I think if the legislature and the governor came up with, hey, we have a plan to fix our roads, so, yeah, it's on the ballot. Vote no, guys. We've got it fixed. I don't think we need to worry about it because the numbers are already saying that people aren't happy with this. I heard a quote from Mr. Martin, the spokesman for the pro group, indicating that it's a small group of individuals trying to get in the way of an answer. And my comment back would be, they wish it was a small group. I mean, as I said, my phone rang all weekend.
Yeah, and we shall see what our listeners have to say, too. We always open up our phone lines, 800-859-0957. Paul Mitchell, appreciate it. Stay in touch. Let us know how you're doing.
Will do, Frank. Take care out there.
You, too, and get yourself shoveled out. Businessman Paul Mitchell, the chair of the Faith and Freedom Coalition of Michigan. They put together this ballot committee of Michigan to oppose the increase in the state sales tax.